Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sean McMahon, and I have the great honor of being the CVU principal, and I'd like to welcome you to Champlain Valley Union High School's 46th commencement exercises for the class of 2010. I would ask that the assembly please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Joanna Hart and followed by the national anthem sung by Francesca Blanchard, Jesse French, Campbell Dunsmore, and James Neely.
I pledge allegiance to the flag, to the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, and indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
Good job, Joanna.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Great job. Please be seated. The welcome delivered on behalf of the senior class will be presented by Christopher Beaton.
Hey, Mom. Thank you and welcome to the graduation of CVU's class of 2010. Give it up. After 4 years of hard work and struggling through Grad Challenge, we're finally done. Although I think we're all excited for the summer and the years ahead, I'll always remember the great times I've had with you all throughout these 4 years. Like freshman day, when we all awkwardly sat in the cafeteria whispering about how we'd seen that person on MySpace, and that kid Will Hurd and his ridiculous hair. Or sophomore year, when in Making a Modern Worlds, somebody claimed that Rosa Parks fought in the Civil War. I won't mention any names, Christina Parker. Or last year, taking the long, cold walks down from the junior lot together and when the hockey team beat Essex in the state championship at the Gut. But most of all, I think we'll all remember the last year we spent together. From the normal senior events, like taking over the library, winning the trike race, fair and square, and bringing the soccer championship back to CVU, to the unique, like bringing back the cutoff and pulling off the masterful beach ball play. Andrew Blake. The uniqueness of our class has always made us special, and I think we all have little memories of CVU that we'll take with us until we get to my dad's age, and these years kind of get a little hazy. Love you, Dad. So, while we're celebrating moving on in life, let's remember the friends we've made and the memories we've shared together. So thank you to the teachers, to the parents, and most of all, to the fellow classmates for making these past 4 years so enjoyable. But now, let's graduate.
The first address on behalf of the senior class will be delivered by Sean Keenan.
Hello? All right. When I first discovered that I was chosen out of our entire senior class to give a speech that conveys my intellect and my maturity, the first words that came out of my mouth were, "Dude, righteous." Soon followed by an, "Uh-oh." And that is when a cloud of doubt came over my head. I began to question what I would possibly say to all of you who I consider to be my friends. Wait a second, that's not right. Friends? Yes, but something much more than that. All of you, class of 2010, are my family. Upon realizing this, I began to notice the amazing family-like characteristics the CVU community has. There are the mothers, like Mrs. O'Donnell, whose kind-spoken word rings bells of curiosity within the intellectual mind. Or Miss Gitlin, whose strong moral fibers keep her and anyone around her in line, but still does this by emphasizing love and equality. Then there are the fathers, like Adam Bunting, who has truly inspired me to become a stronger man who marvels at the beauty of life and spreads love to those around him. And then there are the goofy uncles like Bill Schoonover, who has shown me how great life can be if we just keep the little kid inside of us alive and present in everything we do. There are the loving aunts like Miss Wardwell and Molly Tonino, who have proven to me that at the heart of every great society, there are caring and hardworking women like them. And then there's us, class of 2010. We are the siblings, united and helping each other achieve our goals and just getting through the day. It was really nice to know that within a day filled with APs, projects, and other various loads of work, I could stop and talk about snow sheening with John Mills, or discuss photography and other forms of art with Rachel Leary. She's very good at it. I could crack jokes with Nick Hart and Peter Heiser, enrich my mind with the big words of Ryan Landvader, or the beautiful philosophy of Ethan Tischler. Love you, Ethan. Or I could just trust the fact that whenever I got a little bit out of line in my life, Greg Pazza and Daniel Tabo would be there to say, "Dude, what are you doing?" Thank you, guys. These people are only a fraction of those that have helped me throughout the years, but serve as an excellent example of the amazing people in the class of 2010. Now, back to the question of what to say to all of you here on the day of our graduation. I guess I'll just say what I always say to family before we depart. I love you all. Thank you, CVU.
The second address on behalf of the senior class will be delivered by Isaiah Corey.
Hello, CVU. All right. You guys ready for some fun? Yeah. All right, left side bleachers, can I hear you make some noise? All right, right side bleachers, can I hear you make some noise? Seniors, make some noise! All right, so outside it is a fine, beautiful, gorgeous day, but that's not what we want in here. We're gonna make a rainstorm, and this is how it's gonna work. Left side bleachers. When I make a gesture at you like this, I want you guys to rub your hands together. Just like this. Can I see that right now? Rub your hands together. And when I want you to stop, I'm gonna go like this. Awesome. Right side bleachers, when I gesture at you guys, I want you guys to snap your fingers. Awesome, and then stop. And now seniors and family in the back, when I go like this, when I outstretch my hands like this, I want you guys to stomp very, very lightly. And then as I raise my hands, you guys will get louder, and as I lower them, you'll get softer, and then you'll stop. You guys ready for this? Yeah. All right, here we go. Yeah, seniors! What a metaphor for strength. What a metaphor for strength. And we feel it too, don't we? As we stand here in this place of victory, ready to take the world by storm. But I would remind you, seniors, I would point out, how cool was the thunder because of the rain? So I would like to take this time to thank parents, and other family members, and teachers, and members of the community that have all helped us out. Thank you so much. All right, but as I have these few minutes with you, I'd like to share 3 things. These are the last 3 things you'll have to remember in high school. And I want to use the metaphor of the storm. So let me hear those sheets of rain again. Number 1, think hard. Anything worth believing requires our contemplation. Any action we commit deserves our reflection. Know why you believe what you believe and why you do what you do, and we can only build from there. So, think hard. And then, try harder. There's always an opportunity to push the limits, although sometimes we just shy away. But don't become complacent, seniors. Continue cultivating your gifts in every area, in academics, in athletics, in music, and in your relationships. Don't be lukewarm, seniors, but continue cultivating your gifts and try harder. And lastly, love hardest. Mother Teresa said, every time you smile at someone, it's an act of love, a gift. Mahatma Gandhi said of love, it is reckless in its giving away, oblivious as to what it gets in return. And Madonna said, in her song, Love Makes the World Go Round, love means to understand, reach out for someone's hand. So smile often, give freely, and be there for those in need. And those are some ways that we will love the hardest. It is my desire, my challenge, that we will all think hard, try harder, and love hardest. We will see great things. Seniors, we will do great things if we only think hard, try harder, and love the hardest. Congratulations, CVU class of 2010. God bless.
The third address on behalf of the senior class will be delivered by Sasha Gunther.
I have a little story I'd like to share with you all today. It's called Leo the Late Bloomer by Robert Krauss. Leo couldn't do anything right. He couldn't read. He couldn't write. He couldn't draw. Leo was a sloppy eater. And he never spoke a word. "What's the matter with Leo?" asked Leo's father. "Nothing," said Leo's mother. "Leo is just a late bloomer." Every day, Leo's father watched him for signs of blooming. And every night, Leo's father watched him for signs of blooming. "Are you sure Leo's a bloomer?" asked Leo's father. "Patience," said Leo's mother. "A watched bloomer doesn't bloom." So, Leo's father watched television instead of watching Leo. The snows came, and Leo's father wasn't watching, but Leo still wasn't blooming. The trees budded, and Leo's father wasn't watching, but Leo still wasn't blooming. And then, one day, in his own good time, Leo bloomed. He could read, he could write, he could draw. He ate neatly, and he also spoke. But when he spoke, it was not just one word, it was an entire sentence. And that sentence was, "I made it." And you know what, seniors? So did we. We made it. But not every one of us knew that we would make it here today. But just like Leo, we all took our own paths and made it here in our own time and in our own way. Whether you were the student who managed to hold a part-time job while taking classes through the LIFE program, or maybe you were the student that found your calling at the tech center and you learned to take apart, fix, and rebuild an entire car. Maybe you were the student that really had a hard time with athletics, but you found refuge out on the sports field, and for the past 4 years, you have shown through your athletic abilities. Maybe you're the student that has been really struggling with AP Bio while preparing for Gov tests, while practicing soccer, and while practicing your solo for the VYO. Maybe at points there were people that looked on our journey and doubted our abilities and thought that we were just sleeping our way through high school. But I can assure you that we were not sleeping, and I can assure you that we were blooming all along. No matter what path we chose to take through high school, we are all here today, together. And not every one of us know exactly how it's going to be after today, where we're going to find a job, if we're going to college, what we're going to study, and of course, how we're going to answer that question, what are we going to be when we grow up? And things change, and thanks to CVU, we've had the opportunity to explore possibilities and experience change. CVU has given each and every one of us a chance to bloom, and in turn, a chance to shine. And from today on, we're going to continue on with that chance, and we're going to continue blooming in our different ways. But no matter which way we bloom, we're all going to make it, and I can assure you, we'll all be great. And today, I'm not only so happy to be here sharing this day with all of you, but I'm so, so proud to be here, and I'm so proud to have spent my last 4 years at CVU. So seniors, here is my deep, wise, and heartfelt advice to you all. Find what you're passionate about. Follow your passion. But above all, don't be afraid to change your passion and continue learning, continue growing, and continue blooming in new ways. And with that, seniors, I thank you, and I thank everyone who has helped us get here today in some way. Because you know what? We made it.
A gift from the departing senior class will be presented by Ryan Bush and Leanne Morosky.
Each year, the senior class at CVU donates a gift to the school. It's usually something useful, inspiring, and memorable. Past gifts have been the rails used in the rail jams, benches outside the cafeteria, plants and gardens around the school, as well as money donations. This year, the CVU class of 2010 wanted to leave its mark on this school in a way that, similar to our senior prank, wouldn't be forgotten. As a class of very talented, caring, and memorable individuals, the gift that we leave behind should reflect those attributes.
Though no gift or donation could repay what our teachers and faculty have given us over the last 4 years, it only makes sense that we give back to those people who have helped us reach our goals. In an effort to help current and future CVU students, the class of 2010 has donated 3 glass display cases that will be used at the discretion of the art department. In addition, the class has made financial donations to the Clough Social Studies Scholarship Fund, as well as the CVU Student Fund to help offset the costs of travel abroad. But we didn't stop there. Funds have been set aside with the hope to build a professional-sized beach volleyball court on school property. After the volleyball court is constructed, we hope that all who use or simply take notice of it will remember us, the CVU class of 2010. Thank you.
The honored speaker invited by the class of 2010 to address them on this occasion will be introduced by Ryan Nick.
When I was asked to give this introduction to Vince Krockenberg, I was honored. It wasn't until someone asked me if I had ever had a class with him that I realized I'd never been an AP Gub with Vince, much to my dismay. I had an instant connection with Vince when I met him in the beginning of my junior year during a meeting for Princeton Model Congress. His reputation preceded him, but I soon learned that Vince was not as intimidating as his tests were rumored to be. In the classroom, I have heard that Vince continually challenges his students to be active in their communities and to be aware of their surroundings at all times. Vince's passion for politics and his history is undeniable and infectious among his students. As we close this chapter of our lives in high school, Vince is also leaving a chapter of his life. He leaves this esteemed position at CVU with mixed feelings, of which most of us can relate. I know the CVU community will certainly miss him, but before he departs, I present to you Vincent Krockenberg for one last lecture.
Thanks, Ron. Well, members of this extended CVU community, teachers, staff, administrators, board members, family, friends, a special shout out to the several very special members of the class of 2009 in the audience today, and members of the class of 2010. Thank you for inviting me to give what really is my final lecture at CVU. At the end of today's events, I'm going to close a book titled My Life in Teaching, 1970 to 2010. And I can't think of a nicer, more fitting way to write the final couple of pages of that book than by offering for your consideration today 10 short, somewhat loosely organized lessons on what it means to be an American citizen at the end of the first decade of the new millennium. First, however, let me introduce my accompanists. From the class of 2010, Joshua Hain on snare drum. Also from the class of 2010, Alex Hopkins on trumpet. And from the CVU class of 2006 and the Hamilton College class of 2010, Elijah LaChance, also on trumpet. Gentlemen. Right, we're off. What I want to talk to you about today is what's required of those to whom much has been given. Each of you has been given the opportunity of a good education here at CVU. through the generous support of the 4 communities that send you here. And you've used that opportunity well, as evidenced by your presence here this afternoon. Now, here's what we require of you when you leave Patrick Gym this afternoon: that you will demonstrate the behaviors, skills, and knowledge essential for a contributing member of a democratic society. These words from CVU's mission statement make it clear that your education here has been profoundly political. To underline that point, note how we started today's ceremonies by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance with its phrase, "One nation with liberty and justice for all," and by singing the Star-Spangled Banner with its concluding reference to the land of the free. So what does it mean to be a contributing member of a democratic society? Well, here's where I want to start. 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Those are the opening words of the Gettysburg Address, with a nod to a self-evident truth stated in the Declaration of Independence. As Abraham Lincoln reminds us, liberty and equality are the core driving ideals of the American experiment in self-government. In the 234 years since we've declared ourselves a free and independent nation, we've done much to advance those ideals. To cite just 3 examples, we started as a slave society, and we now have an African-American president. We have enabled millions of immigrants escaping from the persecution and poverty of their countries of birth to come here, sailing past the Statue of Liberty, to create new lives of freedom and opportunity for themselves and their families. And just in the last 40 years, we've opened up opportunities for all students, regardless of race, sex, or disability, to participate equally in the full range of educational and athletic programs offered by schools from kindergarten through postgraduate education. Cheerleading is no longer, as it was when my wife and I were in high school, the only sport available to girls. But as much as we've accomplished, much remains to be done. The United States has the highest levels of poverty and child poverty among advanced industrialized nations. 1 in 8 Americans and an astonishing 1 in 5 children live in poverty in this, the richest country in the history of the planet. Family members, friends, neighbors, and fellow citizens who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgendered are still treated as less than fully equal to straight people in far too many aspects of our public life, from marriage to Social Security benefits to service in the military. We have, in this country, the highest documented prison incarceration rate in the world, and the highest total documented prison and jail population in the world. At the end of 2008, 1 in every 31 adults in the United States, and that's over 7.3 million people, were on probation, in jail or prison, or on parole. That's 6 times the rate in Canada, 7 times that in France, 12 times that in Japan. As one conservative commentator, Glenn Lowry, put it, never before has a supposedly free country denied basic liberty to so many of its citizens. So, against this backdrop of both the progress we've made and the tasks remaining before us, here is the first lesson. Neither liberty nor equality is ever perfected. The protection, preservation, and advancement of each of these is the ongoing work of every political generation. So think of liberty and equality as the horizon. As you walk toward it, it recedes away from you. But every once in a while, back up. Back up a few steps, turn around, and see how far we have come from where we started. We have more fully realized the ideals of liberty and equality over time, but each new political generation continues to discover new issues that it must resolve. The framers of our Constitution could not have anticipated that the issues of equality in our time would include whether gays and lesbians should serve in the military or have the right to marry, and whether Google and Facebook should be subjected to federal regulation to protect personal privacy on the internet. Nor can we know what new issues in liberty and equality will result from research in synthetic biology or from the continued warming of the planet. But what we do know is that these will pose new questions for us as a society committed to liberty and equality, and that we need to be ready to deal with them when and as they arise. Here is lesson 2. Democracy is hard work. Winston Churchill once famously said, "Democracy is the worst form of government, except for all those other forms that have been tried from time to time." It's inefficient, it's fractious, it can be mean and vicious. And given the problems we now face as a nation, immigration policy, energy policy, financial services regulation, healthcare, global warming, and huge and growing income inequality with its attendant threat to political stability, the work of democracy promises to get even harder. But that work has been our collective work since 1776, and it's now your work too. So lesson 3. The most difficult problems we have to face as a nation are not economic, scientific, or military. They're political. But according to the Pew Research Center, trust in our political institutions is now at an historic low. People in large numbers express epic discontent with Congress and elected officials. Just 22% of the people trust the government in Washington almost always or most of the time. And more Americans, by 43 to 38%, view government's impact on them as negative rather than positive. But here's the kicker. The government that so many people distrust and view so negatively is not a government that has been imposed on us by some alien power, nor did it just emerge on its own from some primal sludge to take our money and violate our liberties. It's the government that we, the people, created in 1789. It's our government. We have no one to blame for our discontent but ourselves, and we have only ourselves to turn to for help. So lesson 4. We, the people, must all become politicians. Government is and should be limited in what it can do. In a constitutional democracy that values individualism, we, the people, must fill in the spaces that government leaves open. Dwight David Eisenhower, 34th President of the United States, put it this way: politics is a profession, a serious, complicated, and in its true sense, a noble one. It ought to be the part-time profession of every citizen who would protect the rights and privileges of free people and who would preserve what is good and faithful in our national heritage. But, lesson 5. On the cusp of your full entry into the world of politics, we are faced with this small, discouraging, some might say dismal fact. Exactly. Voting is the primary, not the only, but the primary political responsibility of citizens in a democracy. People my age vote. We contribute our money and our time to political campaigns, and politicians listen to us. People your age, 18 to 24, vote less often and contribute less money to campaigns, and you generally see yourselves as having little invested in the outcome of elections. But in fact, elections should matter to you. Consider just this. Economists largely agree that we cannot simply grow our way out of what is now a $13 trillion national debt. So the decisions Congress makes with regard to the federal budget will sooner or later require either higher levels of taxes or lower levels of spending. And those decisions will directly affect each one of you and your parents and your friends over the course of the next 20 years. Whether in terms of the interest rate you pay for your college loans and later your home mortgages, the cost of the oil and gas you use to heat your homes and fuel your cars, or the percentage of your income that you have to send to the federal government to pay for my Medicare and my Social Security. So, if only for your own sake, vote early and vote often. If you don't vote, you'll let me make the decisions for you. And that's not the way democracy is supposed to work. A related point, lesson 6. Voting's easy, right? What's so hard about entering a little booth, pulling the curtain closed behind you, marking your X's next to your preferred candidates? But here's the tough part. To vote responsibly, you need to understand the issues at stake, and no one will do that work for you. Our politics are rife with misrepresentations, distortions, and even outright lies funded by interest group money and protected by the First Amendment. In our system of politics, it's up to each one of us to become informed about complex and important matters of politics, and it's up to us to work to distinguish truth from what Stephen Colbert calls truthiness, and from what a lot of other people call outright falsehoods. So here's a suggestion that might help. Make a reputable news site your internet homepage. Get off Facebook. You know. If you lean to the left politically, like I do, put a bookmark for the Wall Street Journal right next to that for the New York Times. Add bookmarks for politifact.com and factcheck.org, even snopes.com, sites that will help you sort political facts from political fiction. Even add one for aljazeera.net, the 24-hour English language news channel headquartered in the Middle East, to see how the Arab world views the United States. Join your local public radio and public television stations. General Electric owns NBC. The Disney Corporation owns ABC. But we, the people, own the public broadcasting system and National Public Radio. They need our support if they're going to continue to be able to work for us and to bring us smart commentary on politics from CVU teachers like Mike Martin, former CVU teacher Bill Mayers, and CVU parents like Barry Dunsmore. So here's an even tougher part now, and a specific challenge that I want to present to you. Lesson 7. Okay, women, listen up. Women are 51% of the American population. Okay. But here's the bad news coming up. Well, no, not quite yet. Hold on. Almost 3/4 of this year's honors graduates are female. Honors graduates from CVU this year. In my sections of AP government over the past 3 years, females have won just as many of my Constitution Awards for outstanding achievement as the males have won. But right now, women hold only 17 seats in the 100-member Senate of the United States, and only 78 of the 435 seats in the House of Representatives. Globally, out of 186 countries reporting data, the United States ranks 70th. Let me repeat that, 70th in the percentage of women serving in parliaments or lower houses of Congress, tied with Turkmenistan and just ahead of Albania and North Korea. Assuming Elena Kagan is confirmed, women will still hold only 3 of the 9 seats on the Supreme Court. They have so far held only 3 in the entire history of the Supreme Court. And of course, a woman has never held the office of President of the United States, which distinguishes the United States from other major democracies such as Germany, Great Britain, and India that have elected women to the highest political offices in their countries. And let's be clear, this is not just a women's issue. We will all be better off when all of us, men and women alike, participate fully and equally in politics, when, for whatever reasons, gerrymandered congressional districts, inadequate family support programs, or an antiquated sense of women's proper place. When so many talented women are excluded from political high office, all of us, women and men alike, are served less well by our government than we should be. So I have an offer to make. Lesson 8. If any of you, male or female, ever run for political office, let me know. vince.krockenberg@gmail.com, and I'll send you a contribution. But I'm not going to get to see gender equality, at least in Congress, unless women pick up the rate at which you gain Senate and House seats. If women continue to increase their numbers in Congress at the rate they've done so far over the past 20 years, roughly your lifetimes, It will take 56 more years before women hold an equal number of seats in the House, and 44 before they hold an equal number of seats in the Senate. So if I'm to see gender equality in Congress, which I would love to see, women, you need to pick up the pace. You need to go from linear to exponential. So to help bring that about, I'm prepared to double my contribution to each of the females among you who run for Congress. Now, I expect to live to be 100. That gives me 33 years. So let's have at it. Lesson 9. As all of you, male and female alike, become politicians, perhaps even elected politicians, remember that you are a citizen not just of Vermont, but of the United States. To learn about the rest of the country and what we can hope and strive for, you simply have to get out of Vermont, even out of the United States, at least for a while, and spend some substantial period of time elsewhere. Vermont is just 0.2% of the population of the United States, and the 620,000 of us who live here are not particularly representative of the rest of this extraordinarily diverse country, let alone the rest of the world. But do remember to come back home. We need you to participate in our politics and to strengthen our economy, and to help us here in Vermont continue to show the rest of the country what it means to ensure liberty and justice for all. And speaking for all the parents here, and probably the grandparents as well, we want you to come back because we love you. And we do, true. But you've got to go someplace first, then come back. So finally, here's lesson 10. At age 18, each of you will be a full member of the American democracy. And here's what you and I and all the rest of us in this new nation of Lincolns will then be responsible for. And those of you in my class should know how this ends. Our task is to ensure that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. You and I will not be alone in this work, for we'll be standing on the shoulders of giants named Franklin, Washington, and Lincoln, as well as shoulder to shoulder with the many generations of Americans, including many people of your age who've come before us. From the young people in the 1960s who sat in at lunch counters in Greensboro, North Carolina, or braved fire hoses and police dogs in Birmingham, Alabama to protest racial segregation, to the young immigrant students who just last month sat down in Senator John McCain's office in Tucson to protest Arizona's new restrictive immigration law, to students in this graduating class who have given up their spring breaks to help rebuild communities shattered by racist acts of arson in South Carolina and natural disaster in Mississippi, or who have testified in the state legislature or otherwise made their voices heard on behalf of marriage rights for gays and lesbians in Vermont. But let's be clear, you are not required to engage in heroic acts to make this a more just and more free country. But you are required to contribute something to achieve that end, if only in small ways. You can feed a hungry neighbor, help someone in prison learn to read, register people to vote, then help them get to their polling stations on election day. If you do just these things, you will at least have done what is now required of you. Some of you will do more. None of you should do less. Having worked closely with many of you here, I am confident that we can and will make this country more free, more equal, more just than the country we inherited. And I, for one, am looking forward with great pleasure to working politically with you to do just that. Congratulations on getting your diplomas today, and welcome to full citizenship in the American democracy with all of its attendant rights and obligations. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to recognize the entire staff of Champlain Valley Union High School and all of our CSSU schools who have played a significant role in supporting the class of 2010. Special recognition to some retiring teachers: Vince Krockenberg, Meg Howard, Beth Wardwell, and Kristen Johnson. Now I'd like to introduce and recognize the folks behind me. First of all, Elaine Pinckney, Superintendent of CSSU Schools. And the members of our Board of School Directors: David Rath of Williston, Jeff Parker of Shelburne, Lorna Jimerson of Charlotte, Joan Lennis of Shelburne, Leah Crevetti of Heinsberg, Jonathan Milne of Williston, and Chairwoman Jean Jensen of Williston. Also, I'd like to recognize Patty Thomaschott, our Student Services Director, and Norm McClure, the Class of 2010 Advisor. Ms. Jean Jensen, Chairwoman of the Board of Directors, these students have satisfactorily completed the prescribed course of study according to the requirements of the State of Vermont and the Board of School Directors of CVU. Therefore, I recommend strongly that they be recognized as graduates of our high school, the Class of 2010.
Thank you. By virtue of the powers invested in this high school and as chair of its board of directors, I accept your recommendation.
All right, you ready to get this started? All right, will the first group of students please approach the platform? All right, here we go. Alexandra C. Adams. Zoe Adams. Annika Adis. Mark P. Albertson. Muhammad Ali. Anna A. Allen. Catherine Allen. Alex L. Arsenault. Matthew R. Ashline. Deetra Backup. J. M. Baker. Francesco Ballardini. Christopher J. Barry. Michael S. Bean. Christopher A. Beaton. Corinne M. Benoit. Jessica S. Blair. Andrew Blake. Francesca R. Blanchard. Stephen C. Bowles. Layla R. Bauer. Liam V. Brennan. Nicholas J. Broderick. John R. Brooks. Stephanie N. Brown. Benjamin H. Brownell. Sarah G. Bruce. Jason H. Birds. Stephanie A. Burns. Ryan A. Bush. Zachary T. Caffarelli. Kayla S. Carbo. Andrew J. Cardona. Hayden Carpenter. John Carpenter III. Jenna Carroll. Catherine E. Cheney. Brian A. Cherhoniak. Andrew J. Childs. Caitlin M. Churgwin. Jacob G. Clark. Katie R. Clark. Timothy J. Clark. Tommy G. Cochran. Chad F. Cole. Warren A. Coulomb. Todd J. Cook. Isaiah R. Corey. Ryan S. Costello. Georgia Coda. Patrick J. Cody Wersler. Griffin J. Fox. Giles S. Crelly Byers. Rachel Cross. Dylan A. Crow. Caleb Curtis. Lauren Sanuski. Kelsey B. Darby. Kristen E. Darby. James V. DiTilio. Catherine M. Davies. Kylie B. DeGroot. Tabor L. DeGroot. Hunter Dickerson. Anna K. Dooley. William Dubuque. Margaret C. Dunsmore. Katie M. Dye. Jessica L. Dykema. Elliot J. Elder. Henry E. Elitzer. Jonathan Enos. Marcel Etienne. Melissa V. Evans. Alexander R. Farrell. Johanna D. Fairs. Alessandro Ferrantino. Chloe M. Fisher. Stephanie J. Fisher. Catherine E. Ford. Josh Franklin. Julie I. Frappier. Jesse A. French. Camille Fressinon. Theron R. Fuller. Jacob G. Gager. Allison J. Gannon. Julian B. Garcia. Brian K. Garvey Jr. Thomas D. Gibbs. Taylor J. Giroux. Jeffrey B. Glore. Ross A. Glore. Erica S. Gobet. Nicholas R. Goder. Elizabeth J. Gaudette. Samantha Goodrich. Nick E. Greeno. Bryant A. Gray. Taylor M. Gray. Wells Griffin. Shayna L. Grollo. Miles W. Grunwald. Bryce D. Guerriere. Sasha E. Gunther. Victoria C. Hadley. Joshua A. Hain. Jonathan E. Hall. Lucy M. Halverson. Casey Hammond. Joanna E. Hart. Nicholas A. Hart. Michael F. Haskins. Newton F. Hauserman. Kendra A. Haven. John T. Heaslip. David M. Hebert. Hannah E. Hess. Sydney J. Hilker. Mason Hill. Emily Joan Himberg. Samuel C. Hines. Jacob C. Hinsdale. Peter Heiser. Amanda B. Holman. Alexander Hopkins. Bronwyn E. Hudson. William C. Hurd. Katarina L. Iowanu. Natasha L. Irish. Annie Jackson. Laura H. Jackson. Kelsey H. Jensen. Anthony M. Jordick. Cecilia B. Kalber. Caitlin R. Cast. Nora M. Kazabowski. Sean Keenan. Murray E. Kelly. Eliza A. Kent. Caitlin E. Kenyon. Ian A. Ketchum. Katie Y. Kilbride. Lindsay Kingston. Kendall T. Kolash. Taylor L. Kolk. Jan G. Christensen. Christopher A. Cavidor. Rachel C. Lesbrance. Jesse LeBurge. Caleb Ledoux. Kelsey F. Lamphere. Ryan E. Landvader. Samantha Lane. Brittany Lynn Legrand. Mark Leahy. Rachel L. Leary. Andrew Leckerling. Cody S. Lee. Jacob A. Lee. Marisha Lemoyne. Dylan A. Lewis. Tyler D. Lewis. Jenna Lindeman. Cody E. Litchfield. Catherine W. Litke. Catherine E. Logan. Stephanie Lokenberg. Matthew W. Long. Emily T. Lawyer. Whitney Lucier. Jacintia S. Lee. Megan E. Lyle. Jonathan M. Lyons. Julie C. Masuga. Catherine E. Masuga. Laura M. Masuga. Cassidy J. Maglaris. JoBeth N. Mahanteni. Elizabeth S. Maley. Devin Major. Josephine Millette. Carolyn A. Mangione. Dylan M. Manning. Taylor B. Marcotte. Jordan A. Marcy. Haley J. Marshall. Ashley L. Martin. Lauren E. Masha. Nathan A. Massey. Bridget M. Masterson. Maxwell A. Mayette. Colleen C. McCarthy. Colleen E. McCarthy. Ethan Z. McDonald. Christopher McGinnis. Heather R. McLaughlin. Jackson S. Mersha. John H. Milbank. Kyle A. Miller. Melissa A. Miller. Cullen L. Milliken. Jonathan Mills. Nathan Mills. Timothy J. Mitchell. Trevor L. Mobbs. Nicholas M. Manel. Emma Moorman. Ellen A. Mulek. Benjamin J. Mullen. Leanna M. Morosky. Christina Myers. Glennis R. Neela Stock. Morgan J. Neela Stock. James O. Neely. Daniel C. Nelson. Arles Netherwood Schwezig. Toy Wynn. Ryan C. Nick. Christopher P. Nye. Megan F. Nixon. Jessica A. Novak. Jenny Nova Valenzuela. Trevor R. Ogden. Joshua H. Olson. Christopher Palmer. Dylan A. Palmer. Samuel R. Parent. Christina G. Parker. Alexander J. Partolo. Eli H. Pasikow. Sarah L. Patton. Gregory J. Pasa. Liana C. Pederzani. Margaret J. Perry. Zachary S. Peet. Aiden M. Peterson. Caleb G. Pearson. Caitlin M. Pilla. Samuel F. Posey. Catherine Powell. Taylor V. Pratt Howell. Melinda S. Precourt. Amanda L. Provost. Annie K. Pruitt. Nicholas Race. Carrie E. Ramsden. David W. Raymond. Taylor J. Reed. Nathan C. Reese. Hillary E. Reichert. Ellen E. Reinhardt. Justin D. Rich. Sean M. Roberts. Caitlin E. Rock. Maggie A. Ross. Madeline J. Roth. Michael K. Russell. Margaret E. Ryan. Brittany L. Sarton. Kayla M. Schenk. Jenna M. Schultz. Margaret L. Schultz. Lucas D. Scribner. Angelica T. Sellinger. Emily E. Shaw. Brittany J. Shortsleeve. Jacob A. Sinkovich. Justin D. Small. Brittany N. Smith. Haley A. Smith. Taylor G. Smith. Sarah E. Snow. Jessica A. Spadassini. Derek L. Spalding. Jacob N. Spector. Alexandra P. Stebbins. Ashley A. Stewart. Callie C. Stewart. Matthew A. Stone. Abigail L. Stoner. Rebecca J. Stowell. Alexandra D.W. Sullivan. Callan J. Swazi-Ririk. Anna D. Supple. Shauna L. Sweet. Colin D. Teeter. Daniel Tabo. Jaron W. Tebow. Rachel L. Thutt. Ethan S. Tischler. David Titus. Ashley M. Treya. Sophia A. Trigg. Joseph R. Trotter. Hannah E. Turnbaugh. Nicole M. Utter. Molly C. Vadas. Emma M. Volk. Jameson Vole. John Walters. Cassandra J. Warren. Anna C. Watts. Madeline L. Waxler. Allison D. Weening. Amara M. Weiss. Tyler Weath. Megan Westphalen. Christina B. Whitaker. Ashley S. White. William N. White. Elias Wizarek. Eva M. Williford. Katrina K. Wilson. William C. Wilson. Brittany A. Winiger. Elliot H. Wright. Benjamin C. Yardley. Angel L. Young. Famina Zaman. Madeline M. Zevertovich. Molly Ziegler. Jonathan K. Zitrich. And Alec D. Zulo. The concluding farewell of the class of 2010 will be delivered by Ethan Tischler. Before we close this day, let's hear it one more time for the incredible, talented, and wonderful graduating class of 2010. And before I continue, I'd like to invite all of you to take a look and say thank you to the people around the sides of this room, the parents, teachers, mentors, administrators, all those who spend their lives making this moment possible for us. You are as much a part of this day as we are. Thank you. But seniors, here we are. Looking out over all these fantastic faces, I feel incredibly honored to be asked to speak to you, you who have given me so much over the past 4 years. I came to CVU knowing well only one of you before me. But now I am proud to call many of you my good friends, and I couldn't be happier about it. There's no better way to have spent my 4 years. It was Graduation Challenge, actually, that made something very clear to me. Over time, I had accepted the presence and talents of our class and grew accustomed to the amazing people that I spent my time with. But listening to all the incredible things that these students had done reawoke my appreciation for how unique each member of our class is and how much we all have to give. Which leads me to the point I'd like to get across, the point that 4 years of hard work and fun have taught me. It's the people in our lives that make them worth living. It's only the people we know and we love who lead us to happiness. My CVU experience has been as amazing as it has simply because of you all and the friendships we've made. Many, myself included, worry about legacy, about forming the mark we leave behind when we move on. But I think it's easy to lose sight of one's true impact and forget that it's the minutia, the day-to-day choices that have already made enormous change. Think about the value of someone saying hello with a bright smile, how much of a difference that can make. Think of someone who listened to you when you needed to speak, and how that one moment changed everything to follow. By building our community and contributing to it, we have already left our mark on the worlds and on ourselves, changing and growing with everyone around us. I will leave CVU as much myself as I am all of you. You who've changed my life and each other's every day. So as we head into the next frontier, wherever it may be, spend time getting to know people, to be with and be affected by them. Not just to make friends, but to take an interest in and show appreciation for each member of every facet of your lives. I promise you won't be disappointed, for everyone has something to give, and many will open up if you simply give them someone to talk to. Be open, open yourselves, and wonderful things will happen. But aside from my beliefs, you have already created who you are, and I just feel so blessed to have been able to take a part of it. And now, after working through 4 years, we're graduating. We earned it, we did it, however you want to call it. We're moving on to something new, and we are ready for whatever challenge or joy awaits us next. Seniors, I salute you for the wonderful people you are. You mean the world to me. So good luck wherever you go, and let's enjoy celebrating the graduation of the class of 2010. Yep.
One of these.